After looking at your comments under this video where we're talking about John, Mary, and Susan, so I'm going to be using 3 characters today. Let's call them John, Mary, and Susan. I realize that so many of us have good ideas. So many of us have already been trying, but it seems as if we are stuck. In this video, I'm just going to share with you some of the things that I would have told my younger self. Inside, I'm also going to answer the questions that you people were asking. So I've taken all the questions and I've compiled them, and I'm going to respond to them in a conversation-like way. I don't know if it's just me, but have you ever had the feelings that everyone else is progressing except for you? Yes, I used to ask those questions to myself many times. It's like, you know, when you go to the treadmill, you run very hard, and then when you come down, if you go and weigh yourself immediately, it seems nothing actually happened. But something was actually happening. But one thing that I know is that if you are moving, so long as you are moving slowly, even if it's tough, even if it's difficult, so long as you are going, you are making some positive changes every day. Exactly. I really want to change my life, but it seems as if every step I take, every move I make, nothing seems to be moving. Yes, I know that feeling so well because I used to be there. You know how it's like you are turning a wheel and the wheel is just going round and round at the same position, and you feel like you are so stuck. Yeah, it's true that we see that we are not making any progress, but we are tempted, especially with social media, we are tempted to look at some other person's best moments. People will always put their best moments on social media, and so you will not see those worst moments when they are crying. You will not see those negative parts of their lives, and so you start minimizing your own progress because you think that everyone else is progressing except for you. So one thing that I came to realize is that when I focus on my own journey, so long as I'm taking steps daily, that will help my mindset to not think that I am not progressing, because I see myself putting in the work. So what did you do to get out of that? Yes, it was not overnight success. It took a while of little steps every day, small changes, until I finally found a way. With so many different try and errors. Like, I have products now on Amazon for FBA, but the first product that I ever made, it failed so badly because I started with a very heavy product. Just the shipping cost was very expensive. It was even already completely more than the capital that I had already put in the business. So there was no way I could even succeed with that particular product. With those many failures, I could now figure out what was working. It took a while for me to be where I am today, and of course, I'm still learning and growing daily. That's amazing. What was the first step you took? The first thing was to shift my mindset. But how do you actually change your mindset? That seems easily said than done. Yeah, when I heard most of the time people say that shifting your mindset, I always ask myself, like, what does that mean? Shifting your mindset, yes, there are some beliefs that we inherit. So when we are growing up, maybe your parents make you to understand that, no, in order for you to be able to have a particular kind of job or to be able to make a certain amount of money, you have to go to school up to this level, which is true. We need the education. But now I came to realize that no, it's not about going to school. It's not about working in a particular company. It's about gaining some skills that are valuable. There are some skills that when you have, you can make money anywhere. And so just that mindset shift itself will make you to understand that no, it's not just about the education, it's about learning skills. It's about learning monetizable skills that can actually bring you the money. And also acknowledging the fact that I could ask for more in life, right? If you have a particular job, that job could get to the point where they are paying you $200,000, but it can just end at a certain point because you are trading your hours for that job. But things like digital product, for example, you can make a digital product and sell it within a month. You sell it for $200,000, and just that mindset shift that you can understand that your skills can pay you better, then it makes a whole lot of difference. Oh wow, so that means it's about what you consume mentally. That's amazing. What was the first step you took? So yeah, I started by reading books, and as I was reading those books, I started learning so much things that could really change my mind. So one of the books that I've implemented so much is Atomic Habit. This book has really helped me, because in Atomic Habit, it talks about the fact that those small daily changes that you make. This other book too also helped me because it made me to understand that, oh, there is a way, right? There is a way that you can achieve these things. There is a way you can do these things. And because of that, my mindset changed because I could see that it's possible. Without books, maybe I would have just surrounded myself with my environment. So I would not even know that something like that is possible. Because I know that it's possible, then I can move toward that direction. You know, every one of us in life, we are in a certain box, the box in which we are growing. And so for you to be able to go out of that box, there are some mindset shifts, some changes that are going to occur in your life. That sounds like a good start. Did you make any other changes? So another thing that I did was that I turned my car into like a university. Every time when I was driving to work, I was always listening to podcasts that will help me, things that will help my mind, things that will make me see that it's possible. And of course, reading the Bible. Every financial principle that I've seen is found in the Bible. The more you read the Bible, the more you understand how God wants us to actually make money and how God himself wants to bless us. But sometimes it's because of our ignorance, we are limited to what we think God can do for us. As you read the Bible, your mind begins to open. Yeah, I realized that if I wanted a different result, then I needed to take steps in a different way, that I don't have to remain in the same kind of things that I had been doing. Did you make any other changes? Yeah, I personally have 4 children, and so living with children too is not easy. After when my children go to bed, I'll be awake and work for some time, and also get up earlier in the morning when my children are still sleeping. So that helped me to be able to get in like some 3 hours of work, and I was doing that intentionally because I know I don't have much time. So the small time that I have, I make sure I put it to work and make something that can actually give me value. And throughout this time, I was trying to grow my skills. I was buying courses, I was studying those courses, I was growing those skills that I did not have, skills that I know that will help me in the days ahead. And it's the same thing if you are working in a job and you see that you need a certain skill to be able to get a certain promotion, right? You can always buy courses online and gain that skill. So take that time and learn that skill, because for you to get that next promotion, you just need a certain skill for you to be able to get to that level. Waking up early in the morning seems like a very big commitment. So one thing that I'm always wondering about is, how did you actually start your business when you had a full-time job? Yes, it was definitely challenging. Especially me, I have 4 children. And so every time after work, I was very intentional about everything that I did. I was intentional about the things that I was studying. I was intentional about the little time that I had. So I'm going to put that time to work, to either study something, or I'm starting to learn something regarding my business. It was not as if it was easy. I had to sacrifice some of this extra time to be able to put it to work to get the skills that I needed for the days ahead. If you have watched this video up to this point and you are getting any value from it, I want to encourage you to like the video. If you have not yet subscribed to become a part of the family, go ahead and subscribe. How did you keep yourself motivated? Because for me, there are times that even when I want to try, I feel like I don't have any motivation. It was definitely not easy. It's not as if it was easy, but because I knew that for the days ahead, I needed to learn those skills if I needed a different life, if I wanted to achieve something different. I'm that person that I did not want at all that I will never be available for my children. I did not want that kind of thing that I'm so busy that I'm not able to make my own schedule. You know, especially with 4 children, it's hard for me to say, okay, I can go to this child's activity, go to this other one, and then I'm working under somebody. It's very hard, if not impossible, right? So I needed to figure out something that I'll be able to have some more time, that my time can be in my hand. As the children start growing, they start going for sports. They need someone to be there with them. They need someone to take them there. And if you are working under somebody, you know, all those kind of activities is very hard. I knew that there is no way I can work full time under somebody. I needed to make it work. So with that drive, with that determination, I had to push myself to study hard. Thank you so much for sharing that with me. That really sounds encouraging. Did you have any other strategies for managing your time? Yes, there were definitely tough days, but I kept reminding myself of the goal. I kept reminding myself of where I wanted to go. One day I went for my daughter's parent conference and I was very late because I left for work, driving inside traffic, struggling to be there on time. I went there when the thing has already ended. I felt so ashamed of myself and I was like, no, I don't want this kind of life. So those little moments pushed me. Even though it was so tough, even though it was so difficult, those things pushed me. And I knew that no, I don't want these things to repeat itself again. Did it happen? Yes, it happened. It repeated itself again, time and again. But I knew that I was already making those steps, I was making those decisions, and I was going somewhere. So every time it's so tough, I'll remind myself of the goal. I'll remind myself that I want my time freedom. You know, it was not so much of financial freedom. You know, when you start on your journey, there are some things that you want to achieve. From the beginning of my own journey, it was not so much of financial freedom. It was not about making many different streams of income. it was just that time freedom that I wanted. And as I worked on that time freedom, it started bringing me more things, and I realized, oh, there was more to it than I even thought from the beginning. So as it's tough for you, so one thing that I would tell you is that put the goal on the forefront. If you have a specific goal, you know what you want to achieve, that goal will keep you going. Remind yourself every time when you lost track, just remind yourself where you are going, remind yourself what you want to achieve, and as you keep reminding yourself like that, you keep going. I don't know how to manage distraction. Sometimes I want to even do something, but I get so distracted with other things. So definitely everybody has distractions. The world is full of so many distractions. But one of the strategy that worked for me was that I was blocking time. So time blocking is something that is very important. So I know that if I want to create my book, or if I want to learn something, I'll block time ahead of time. So from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock, I'm going to be doing this thing. And because I've blocked that time, there is nothing else that can take place during that time. And of course, life happens. But if you don't block that time, you will not even remember that you should do that. So because I was able to block that time, I will take that time and strategize it to do very important work, things that will help me to go forward. I will shut down my phone. Any distraction, anything that can be a distraction to me, I'll cut it off because I know this time is for my work. That's something that I personally struggle with. I used to be the same way too. But once I started blocking my time, I started strategizing and taking that specific time to do specific work. I make sure at that time I'm doing that work. And when I started doing that, I was able to really see great progress, and my progress really skyrocketed. That makes sense. I can see how that would really make a very big difference. Another big thing was networking. I realized that I had to connect with the kind of people that I was admiring, the kind of people that I know, okay, this child of God like this is creating impact in their generation. So how do I get to connect to this person? Because when you connect to somebody and they are speaking that language, it's easier for you to also speak that kind of language. Now, as I started doing my own business, as I'm growing, I've been able to connect with rich people. And when I go, when I meet with them in some meetings, sometimes you see how these people are talking about money, investment. Their children are growing around and they are hearing, right? Like even my children are growing up now. They are understanding investment. They are understanding all these kind of things. They are understanding how to start businesses, YouTube channels. But those are things that I didn't even hear. I didn't even know that things like that do exist. And so when you start connecting yourself with people like that, you see that the discussion, the environment, the things that people are discussing, it start opening your mind. It start helping you to see how other people think. So it's very important for you to start creating those connections. Networking is something that I've always heard and I've always known that is very important. But the problem I have is that I don't even know where to start. I don't know anybody I can connect with. How do I actually start? When you read somebody's book, you'll be able to see how that person thinks. You'll be able to see the things, the ideas that person had. You'll be able to understand why they made the decisions they made, right? Because when people write books, they put their experiences in those books. And so even if you don't have that personal connection with them, their writing style, the way they talk, you'll be able to have that connection. There are so many people that I've never met, but there are times that when I'm doing something in my business, I can tell myself, oh, what would this person say at this time? And there and then I'll get the answer. Why? Because I've read that person's work. I've understood how that person thinks. Sometimes that person's way of thinking is helping me. And most especially as children of God, we can always ask God for direction. You can prayerfully send an email to somebody and that person is going to respond. You can prayerfully ask God to lead you to someone and God is going to lead you. In order for you to really start connecting with people, the one thing that I want to tell you is that try to develop yourself. When you develop yourself, even when you meet with somebody, you'll be able to speak at their level. But if you've not developed yourself, you'll not even know what to say. You'll not even know what kind of conversation to bring toward that person, right? When you've had some knowledge, other people will start coming to you. Other people will start asking you. But like now, I have so many friends that few years back, there is no way I would have been able to connect to them. But because I have also developed my own self, it's easier for me to connect with those people. I hope you get it. So from everything I'm hearing, it seems as if we just need to start taking small steps. And as we take those steps bit by bit, those small changes, so many of them will compound and then add up to now make something big. Exactly. Like every other thing that we do in life, those small actions, those small steps compound over time. On my own journey, I really tried to connect with people. I even emailed so many people trying to see if they could teach me. After buying so many courses, buying courses for 10,000, just courses, I was not even able to meet with anybody. Even though I bought those courses, but I was not able to take action, because when I get stuck somewhere, I have a question, there is nobody I can ask that question to. I tried to email people I've bought courses from, they will not even respond. And I got really frustrated, and sometimes things like that you can easily give up. So I've been there, and sometimes I understand how you feel, and it's always like if you have somebody that you can quickly ask your questions, you can quickly get that help, right? It will help you to easily move forward. So I've decided to start a paid community. So I'm going to put a form down below. If you are interested to become a part of that community, I'll encourage you to sign up so that immediately the community is out, I'm going to let you know. A place where we can work together. My goal is to be able to help at least 1,000 people to get to that point of financial freedom. If that's something that sounds interesting to you, I want you to fill the form down below, and I'll let you know immediately it is available. The intention of this community is to help you to easily get access to me, to easily get access to somebody that can answer your questions immediately you have them. In the community, we are going to have office hours where you can come in anytime and ask any questions. We are going to set up all those things. I just want to make myself available so that you'll be able to have the help that you actually need. And another thing that is going to be so good is that, when you find yourself in the community, you see that you are not on that lonely journey. People can share their own difficulties, people can share their experiences, and that will help you to also learn what other people are doing. From time to time, I can check and see what you're doing. We can follow up and see where you are at, and make sure that we are actually moving our job and building those multiple streams of income. So if that's something that interests you, you can go ahead and sign the form down below, and I'll let you know. If this is your first time here, I'm so glad that you decided to join the Overcoming family. And if you have watched this video up to this point, overcomers, I just want you to put in the comment section that I am an overcomer. So go ahead and click this video next, and I'm going to see you in the next video. Love you all so much.
It's been a while since we laid down.